All right, moving on to number 13. Remember, you should be getting more comfortable with your note names before you move on to 13. Pardon me. So practice the previous numbers as much as you need to the point where you really start to memorize where these notes are. Excuse me again. Number 13 has the option to write in note names below each one. I would do so if you haven't already. It writes in the first three for you. Make sure you're writing with a pencil, no highlighters, no pens, colored pencil, erasable pen, I don't care. I want it to be a pencil. We only ever write in music with pencil. There might be one special situation where Mr. Arnold says, write in pen, and it will be a glorious day when that happens. But for now, write in pencil. So I'll go over the note names for number 13. As the book says, the first one is B flat, and then it goes up to C, and then it goes up to D, then it goes up to E flat is the first note you should write in. And then that top note we've learned, it's our highest note we know, is F, and there are 3 Fs there. Then a quarter note rest. Then it goes down. Find that one. It is D. And then it goes up. Okay, where's that note that's on that fourth space? It's flat. It is an E flat. And it goes back down. We just did this note. It is a D. Then it goes down to C. And then B flat. Up to that fourth line, D. And back down to that B flat. So make sure you have all your note names in before we move on to the next part. Let's do some clapping and counting for this one. We're going to tap our foot. Hopefully you can see my foot tapping away under here. I'll have my hands under the camera as well. And we're going to count 8 notes, tap your foot, and clap when you would play. 1 and 2, and ready. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm counting pitches and stuff just to kind of get it ingrained in your head, but you don't need to count. I'm kind of counting. You don't need to do that. You can just count normally. Okay, let's move on to note names. You're going to be tempted just to read the note names you wrote on the bottom, but I urge you to keep your eyes on the note itself so that you're ingraining in your head, okay, if it's on that top space, that is an E flat, right? If it's got a little flat next to it, it's always an E. Sorry, if it's got a flat next to it, it's always a flat, and that space will always be some type of E. So in this case, it's an E flat. Let's say note names in time. You can sing it with me if you want, or you can just say note names. 1 and 2, saying note names go. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, 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 rest. D, E flat, D, C, B flat, D, B flat, rest. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, 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 rest. D, E flat, D, C, B flat, D, B flat, rest. Let's hover over our notes, do some air playing or shadow playing, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, while saying note names. I'm going to start with my left just because it's the bottom notes on that second row. That makes sense. And there's no sticking written in here anyway. So we can kind of do what we want as long as we're not being dependent on a singular hand. 1, 2, say in air, play, go. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, 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 rest. D, E flat, D, C, B flat, D, B flat, repeat. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, 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 moving down. D, E flat, D, C, B flat, D, B flat. Okay, let's talk about sticking a little bit. I painted myself into a corner because I moved from, I wanted to do alternate sticking, right? So I went like probably right here and then left here. But that means I had to cross over my stick to play the B flat here. And then I had the D here. So my stick was my stick was stuck because it was trying to play the D, but I had my hand over here. So this is one of the reasons why it's important that you can do different kinds of stickings, because really what I should have been doing is playing the B flat with my left mallet so that I could come up here and do the D very easily, right? So it's much easier than, now Matt, see I'm messing up at this tempo. Imagine if it was faster and harder music. So just something to keep in mind. All right, let's go ahead and play number 13, starting on B flat. You can always take a little roadmap check, look at it. Okay, looks like it goes up. And then you do something weird in the middle. And then it leaps between those, right? You're just kind of getting the rough draft in your head of how this goes before you start playing it. Here we go. I'm going to start on my left. I encourage you to do the same. 1, 2, playing 13. B flat, C, D, B flat, F, 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 down to D. Repeat. Moving down. Okay, and that's number 13. Now, the hardest part about this, we haven't really done this much, but for me, the hardest measure is the third measure. So we're going to do something we haven't talked about in this series yet, which is called additive practice. So we're going to find the hardest part. We're going to isolate our issue. Let's say I was struggling with measure 3. That's okay. It's probably one of the harder measures in this. At least for me it is. And so additive practice is where you start with one note and you play it until it's good. And then you add a note. And once you can play those 2 notes well, then you add another note. But you don't add a note until you feel really confident about it. So this is additive practice. This is a technique you can use to practice literally anything. So here's measure 3. I'm going to make sure I have D. Okay, I think I'm ready to add another note. Let's see, my next note is E flat. So I'm going to go, is that good? Oh, maybe it wasn't. So I'm going to do it again. Okay, I'm happy with that. Now I got to find my next note. Let's try 3 notes. Oh no, I messed up. So now I'm going to try that again. Okay, and then add our last note, which is the C. Oh my goodness, I messed up. That was not intentional, actually. Ready and go. Now, for the sake of keeping the video short, I would have added 1 note until we had the second half of the piece learned. But that's the idea. So that's a good way to practice anything, is isolate the hard part and apply a practice technique to it so that you can learn it a little bit better. All right, that is number 13. Rewatch, slow down, rewind, do whatever you got to do until you feel real comfortable with number 13. Take care.